did you like the last video of conspiracy theories? It really made me think. So let's look at some more.
Until 1975 to 77, the FBI director basically destroyed all evidence of MK Ultra. So in December of 2024, they just released 1,200 documents, gave more light to this thing called Operation Often. Operation Often was a joint U.S. Army and CIA project launched in the late 1960s. They went full in on hiring Satanists, witches, to study and see if they could weaponize the paranormal. This is not made up. These documents came out saying that they were doing this. There are even reports that this program had files on spiritual possessions, poltergeist activity, and demonic entities.
Bro,
this is the U.S. government saying, like, let's research this and see if we can weaponize it.
They're looking at spirituality as like a science to be like harnessed.
Because they know it's real. People think black magic, witchcraft, all this stuff is baloney. But I'm like, if the government, they've been looking, now they're like, now we're going to conduct a study on it.
This was at the height of the Cold War paranoia. So they're like just trying to figure out anything to weaponize.
So how do you like that? The government was trying to weaponize the spirit world. So what were they doing? They were trying to hire these, paranormal people, witches, whatever, to harness the power of the spirit. So what, you thought you were gonna like hire a demon to like work, go to war, to unalive people, to do what? Did you think a demon was gonna obey you? Or what were you doing? I don't understand. Were you gonna employ some werewolves, some vampires, some ghouls? What was the plan here? And like, you see how well that's worked out in the past, like people trying to control, and I don't know. It seems like a really bad idea. However, what it does show is that the government believed that there were paranormal powers and they wanted to harness those powers. Yeah, there's your tax dollars working for you. Yay! I know I feel better about paying my taxes. Don't you? Yeah. Let's see what else is going on.
After saying goodbye, she seems to fumble with the headset while she whispers a few more words into the mouthpiece.
I hope that he will see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye. End of message.
Even by playing the segment several times, it remains difficult to hear anything different from the words, "It's a frame."
Did y'all hear that?
Holy shit. CC Lyles was a police officer and a detective for 6 years before becoming a flight attendant? That seems backwards. You don't usually go from cop to flight attendant unless you're an undercover cop. And just like the Challenger astronauts, you're pumped right back into society with a new name, maybe even the same name. Or maybe she wouldn't cooperate, so they had to get rid of her. And as she left the phone, she whispers, "It's a frame," like a good cop.
In any case, the problem with the phone calls does not change. The cell phone calls confirmed by the FBI in their reports cannot have been made from the cruising airplanes. Someone has to explain where they came from. 911 by a passenger who had locked himself in a lavatory where airphones are not available. The second is a call placed by flight attendant CC Lyles to her husband, who later described his surprise in receiving a call from her cell phone in a television interview.
Once the phone got disconnected, then I sat up in the bed like, it was like I just woke up. I'm like, was that a real call? So I looked at the caller ID and noticed that it was a call, and it was from her cell phone. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. How can she call me from on the plane from a cell phone? Because cell phones don't work on the plane. That's what I'm thinking.
Next we went up to 4,000 feet. Then Company B's phone stopped working at 4,000 feet. And when the aircraft rose to 6,000 feet, Company A's phone also became useless. At 8,000 feet, none of the three cell phones worked anymore.
No service on A, no service on B, no service on C.
In other words, at an altitude of 35,000 feet, cell phones would have been totally useless.
There is another problem besides altitude that makes calling from a cell phone unthinkable from a cruising airplane, and that is speed. Calling from an aircraft with a cell phone would be like calling from a car traveling at 500 miles per hour. The connection would continuously need to be transferred from one receiving station to the next, and then to the next, and again to the next. The transfer procedure between two receiving stations is called handoff, and it relies on continuous triangulations between the receiving towers in order to establish the exact position of the caller. As the mobile unit approaches the handoff zone, the first tower senses the weakening of the signal and prepares to transfer the call to the second. When the second tower senses the signal is strong enough to take over, the handoff procedure is initiated. If everything goes well, the call is rerouted into the system by the new receiving station. But the speed by which an airplane approaches and crosses over the handoff zone is so high that the towers wouldn't have the time to complete the handoff procedure. The call would be dropped, and the person would need to dial the number from scratch. If one considers the altitude and the speed problems combined, it should be clear that the chances of having an actual conversation with a cell phone from a cruising airplane are practically nil. And even 10 years after 9/11, people who try to use their cell phone from cruising altitudes are bound to get the same results. Goodbye, she seems to fumble with the headset while she whispers a few more words into the mouthpiece.
I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
It's a frame. I know. So everybody has their opinions, and I definitely have mine. But yeah, there are some things that you really just you can't say it's just an opinion, okay? Because there are things that just don't work, especially in 2001, and trying to hand off, a cell signal like that at the speed. I mean, look, they break it down for you. You think about how many calls are dropped and how much crap now, even with the technology we have today. I mean, it's crazy. I am in a cement building, and trying to get a call not to drop in there is insane. Can you imagine being in a plane and being high up, like, and going at that speed? Like, look, come on. I'm just saying. I said what I said. And they said what they said. And I'd like to hear what you have to say. How about that? Put your comments below. But it makes sense to me. All right, let's go on.
Dark truth hidden from us.
There's a map in Minecraft that you can download and load up, and it's banned in several countries. So this is a banned Minecraft map in multiple countries. This map is the uncensored library, and it contains hundreds of written books in game. And I bet you're wondering how books made this illegal. Nearly every Minecraft world has written books. Well, these books contain leaked confidential documents that expose government secrets from countries across the world. Some of these are so illegal that I can't even show you. And well, it's a user-made Minecraft map and has written books of CIA secrets, conspiracy theories, and books that are banned in other countries. So, specifically in China, there's a lot of books that are banned, which are mostly psychology books. But they have access through Minecraft, because they can download that map and then read it on the Minecraft books.
Okay, I put this on there to ask y'all Minecraft people, because I don't Minecraft. So I don't really know about this, but is that true? Have y'all ever seen these maps, these weird things that only some people can access? And I don't know, have you heard of such a thing? I don't even know. But it seems to me that kind of like, the dark web has secrets. I know there are not what they call Easter eggs, but I know even in the first video games, like the Mario World game, there were secrets. Like you could do certain things, there were cheat codes. And if you accidentally did them, and then people wrote books, and they would get online and share their secrets. If you do this and press these buttons at this certain time in the game, Mario does something that is unprecedented. Like he goes and you can skip all these levels, you can skip worlds. So honestly, there's one cheat code early in the game that, like, if you get all the way to the end of Mario and then you're fighting the dragon and you lose, you have to go all the normally you have to go all the way back. Well, there is a cheat code where you can fly through all these worlds. And when we heard about this, of course, that's what we did. And to finally win the game, and you go through all these levels. Well, just like in that, from the very beginning, there are little secrets built into these video games. So I know that they do exist. Is there such a one in Minecraft, and is this true? I would love to know. Somebody tell me. Have you heard of such a thing? Has anybody ever read or seen the library access to this? And is this true? I would love to know. Mostly because I'm nosy, and then too because I want to know what they say. Again, because I'm nosy. Hey y'all, this one really got me. Did you notice how time sped up after 2020? They're hiding the truth. Days aren't 24 hours anymore, but only 20. Like we're stuck in a secret time travel experiment. Wow. Do y'all think that's true? It wouldn't surprise me a bit. I A couple of things. I think it started before 2020. Um, Days were faster, certainly since 2020, yes, but especially, oh my gosh, in the last year or two, the last couple of years have been insanely fast, and especially 2025 has been off the charts fast. Like I feel like I can't even blink. And when I think I've said this before on this channel, if not, it was my other one, but I feel like I get to work, and normally I bring my breakfast, but I usually eat fairly soon after I get there because I'm hungry because I've been up for a long time. And now I get to work, and it's like 10 o'clock, 10:30, like it's almost getting close to my lunch window. And I haven't even eaten breakfast. I'm like, Lord, I have to eat breakfast because then I'm not even going to want lunch. And I feel like by the time, sometimes I don't eat lunch because I'm still full from breakfast. But by the time lunch is over, I'm like, okay, the lunch period, whether I eat or not, um, is done. And I'm like, okay, I still got plenty of time. I'm thinking in my head to do this stuff that I'm doing. And before I know it, it is time to leave. And I'm like, where did the time go? Like, I have not been goofing off. I have been working steadily this whole time. And I'm like, honestly, how did the day fly by? And so the first few times it happened, I'm like, okay, it was just one of those days that is unexplainable. That time just flew by. I must have been busier than I thought. And then it's day after day after day. And 2025 has been that way for me. It's insanely fast. Insane. And before I know it, I walk in Monday morning and I'm like, everybody's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, oh God, it's Monday. Like everybody does. I've already had coffee, and I have another big jug of coffee and my big jug of water. And I'm like, oh God. Before I know it, it's time to leave. And then it's Wednesday, like afternoon. And I'm like, oh my God, I've only got like tomorrow, you know, to get most of my stuff done because I don't work a full day on Friday usually because my hours, I've already worked so many hours that I don't even have a full 8 hours I can work on Friday. I'm like, where did the week go? I've still got piles of stuff to do, and I've been working all week, and that time is gone. Now, there is a scripture for those who are Christian people. There is a scripture that talks about where God shortens, he says, I'll shorten the time, or else basically you wouldn't be able to survive it. I'm going to shorten the days. And I'm like, if there's ever a time in my life that I feel like the days are short, it's now. It's like you blink, I turn around. I feel like it should be in the timeline of where I feel like we should be for 2025. I feel like it should be about April. About April. No, it's like we're getting towards the end of September. Like it's just gone by so fast. I don't even know. I don't even know where it went. So if I know I'm not the only one, but how do y'all feel? What time of year? I mean, like I know we've had all the seasons, but time is insanely crazy fast. And that's why I think I miss a lot on this channel. It's like I do my other channel, I have a schedule of time that I put out videos, so I know, but I don't have a schedule for Silky Southern. So I kind of just And then I'm like, my God, has it been a week? It's been 2 weeks since I've been on here. When did I go live last? I don't even know. What day is it? Because it's literally flying by that fast. I love y'all. Y'all know that. All right, let's look at another video. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I love this next story. I could see myself being in this story.
So true story, the CIA back in the day did this experiment where they placed 18 people in a room. 17 of those people were actually CIA agents, and one of them was just an unwitting member of the public. So imagine they pick you, you think that you're going into a room with 17 other people who are from the street just like you, but in reality, those 17 other people are agents, and they are conducting an experiment on you. So the person that was running the experiment showed every single person in the room a picture of a triangle. It was very clearly a picture of a triangle, and he asked every person in the room to simply state what they saw on the picture. Well, despite it clearly being a triangle, all of the agents were instructed to say square. So imagine you're in this room with 70 other people, you think that you're all off the side of the street, and they start going around, and everyone says, oh, what is that? A square, a square. What do you see? A square, a square, a square, a square. Well, by the time it gets to you, and you're the 18th person, you're going, oh, am I crazy? I see a triangle. And guess what that 18th person said? Well, they said square, because they didn't want to be the crazy person in the room. Really think about the implications of that experiment. That is exactly how the media works. They are the agents in the room that are repeating square, 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 until you're supposed to just completely abandon reason and just join them and say, totally, that's a square. That's what I see too, even though you know that's completely not true. And the reality is the majority of people do this today because you don't want to think that you're crazy.
Okay. When I said I could see me being in this story, I mean, I could see me at the end being like looking around the room saying, well, y'all, I saw a triangle and I think y'all need to see an eye doctor. Because I'd be looking around like, I think y'all are nuts. Like, seriously, y'all need to see an ophthalmologist or optometrist. I don't know. Which one is it? You got to see somebody for y'all's eyes. Because ain't none of y'all got 20/20 vision. But that's scary. Yeah, because I can see that happening today. And I 100%, whether you love or hate Candace Owens, that I've heard that story before. And here it's kind of like when we talked about this on my last live. Don't be a flea. Don't be a flea. You have to like it's the ceiling. You have now forgotten that you can jump higher than the jar. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to have the moral fortitude, the internal strength to speak the truth, what you see. And look, if it was a square and you saw a triangle, then you need to see an eye doctor. But you say your truth, okay? You say your truth. And if they can prove to you that was wrong, I don't know. You still saw a triangle. That's what you saw. The problem that we have is that nobody wants to stand out. Nobody wants to be wrong. Like, it's okay to be wrong. I've been wrong a lot. It's okay. Guess what? I'm going to be wrong again. I know that. I'll be wrong about something. And you know what? That's okay. That makes me human. Totally unprepared for this world, as in the first video. Totally not not able to withstand the weather. So am I actually a hybrid? Am I actually meant for Earth? Probably not. But yet here I am, born here and fallible, and I will make a mistake and I will be wrong. And that's all right. It is what it is. But I am going to speak the truth, and so should you. And I'm still thinking about that bus from the last video. Don't get on it. Yeah. What did you think about these TikToks and these conspiracy theories? Because I don't think I was talking to a lady last week, and I've heard this before too, but it's true. She said, the difference between a conspiracy theory and real fact is about a week. I'd say maybe maybe sometimes about a month, but it's pretty close. So, and I told her, I said, I am a conspiracy realist. Yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but it shows up most of the time. All right. I hope you have a lovely week. Stay safe out there. Stay away from zombies and buses. And call a triangle a triangle. But whatever you do, just stay silky. I will see you next time. Bye bye.